Chapter 741 Destroy. Starter. In Neji's eyes, it's been a long time since I've seen this kind of slightly flustered look. Even Onoki was taken aback. From the time he met Neji, yes, when you succeeded as a 14-year-old. Onoki had never seen it before, and saw any surprise in the eyes of this young man. And now, Neji seems really panicked. What's the matter? Onoki was a little impatient. He was already old enough to know his destiny. Waiting for a guy who's too old to walk and die, any little thing can affect him, and Neji is different. A genius ninja, who is the strongest in the ninja world, what else can he be troubled with? Neji said, even if there is a misjudgment in this matter, it is only an exaggeration of the extent of the matter. But it does not mean that it does not exist. Strange, too strange. The whole village can't find Okamoto-shi. Why? I can't make out the trace of that guy either. Onoki murmured. No, that's not going to be the case. Neji calmed himself down. It was a year or two of leisurely life that made him almost forget the methodical rhythm he once had. The clues can't disappear out of thin air. I have enough confidence in my pupil power. If I can't find it, there are only two possibilities. The key location is not in Iwagakure village, or the power behind it is strong enough to hide from me. Neji glanced at him and said, it's hard to rule out either of these two situations. The principle of proximity, let's assume it's the second one. If it's empty, it must be the first one. Then, old man, this village has the possibility of anywhere. Have you set up a strong barrier? What do you want to ask? Onoki was wary again. Both of them knew at this time that this was the most critical confidential information about Iwagakure village. If it is Neji's set, Onoki is likely to be defeated in the next negotiation issue. In today's prosperous Konohamaru, any mistakes in Iwagakure village may be fatal flaws in foreign affairs. This matter is not only about the village of Iwagakure and Konohamaru, but about the 5 great kingdoms, the entire ninja world, or rather, this planet. Neji's eyes stared straight at Onoki. This sincerity made Onoki tempted. He really had never seen Neji have this attitude. Just like everyone would like to believe in Naruto, Neji also has a magical power. That is to believe that Neji, what he sees in his eyes, should definitely not be what he sees. There is one, but that place is managed by Okamoto Stone, and it is very likely that a barrier will be set up. Because it is a place used to dispose of special discarded ores, if a barrier is not set up, it is very likely to hurt the villagers if it leaks. Quote. Onoki finished speaking. Neji was taken aback. After only thinking for 3 or 2 seconds, he thought about the general answer. Looks like this is the place. Because if it's abandoned ore, why isn't this kind of place set up farther from Iwagakure village? Onoki was startled, but couldn't answer. This, I don't know either. Neji added, because you have to be in a place that can be reached quickly, you can control it frequently. Since we can't find Konohamaru and Alan, the most important thing now is to find Okamoto Stone. Rasengan. Bang. A huge destructive force hit the gear, but the bright Yuhi-colored energy, accompanied by a lightning-like flowing brilliance, absorbed all the power of Rasengan. Buzz. That power is even absorbed, and the rebound is normal. Shooting, Konohamaru avoided, stepped on a steel pole, and jumped quickly. Land firmly. Alan hid far behind, struggling to endure the discomfort caused by this force. And that Yuhi-colored light, condensed together like a drastic change, the color is also impressive. Damn, such a powerful device, my power is not enough to destroy it. Konohamaru clenched her fists, annoyed. And Alan was also silent, watching this scene with sad eyes. Although he is a descendant of the Sarutobi family, the current Konohamaru is still too immature, but this is the only person Alan can ask for help. Finally, she sighed. Intel. Futon, wind style, whirlwind fist. Bang. A huge whirlwind penetrated and hit a gear, causing loosening. And the loose gear collided with another gear until the whole machine started to go fast, and after a fast period of time, it shook loosely. The whole environment began to shake. Boom! Konohamaru fell to the ground, gasping for breath. Success! Alan behind him was startled again and again, and immediately said, "That's it. This device is linked. As long as it needs to destroy a small corner, it can have a great impact. Do it again." Good. The fighting spirit of the two became strong, and Konohamaru started the hand seal. However, a voice descended from the sky. "There is no chance." A serious middle-aged man, floating in the air. The cloak behind him, like Onoki, fluttered like wings, and the whole person floated in the air. The same ability as old man Tsuchikage. Konohamaru frowned. Alan behind him bit Kiba and said, "Okamoto stone." Okamoto Ishii narrowed his eyes and glanced at Alan, and sneered, "Alan. Really? Didn't the savage kill you? No wonder there's no news." Alan panted and only whispered, "It's a pity, you only gave them enough strength to tie me up once. God finally gave me a chance to let Konohamaru and the others pass by my side." Konohamaru blinked and murmured, "This guy. Is that Okamoto stone? It's not very friendly when you look at his face." Okamoto stone floated in the sky, looking down at the two of them. "Then it's game over." He stretched out his hand, and immediately squeezed out a yuhi-colored energy ball in his hand. Konohamaru took a step back, saying it was too late, and he immediately felt the fierce killing intent of the other party. Whoosh! Rasengan was spinning rapidly in his hand, the yuhi-colored energy ball had been dropped, and the speed was very fast. "Throw it out." Konohamaru backed away immediately. When the speed was unmatched, he quickly retreated and dragged the time, and the energy ball fell and flew towards Konohamaru. Since it can be thrown, it is really controllable. Konohamaru, however, had Rasengan ready to hit hard. Two forces, one blue and one yuhi, are fiercely fighting together. Okamoto Shi was startled. "Genin. So skilled in actual combat." Bang! But Okamoto Shi's mouth twitched, and his figure flickered. "Disappear immediately." Konohamaru, Okamoto stone appears. The weak Alan exclaimed, "Be careful, Konohamaru." Konohamaru turned around, and the yuhi-colored ons bloomed like an explosion. At this time, a figure suddenly appeared. Doden, Earth-style, line congealing technique. Okamoto stone was also surprised. Chapter 742 Detonate. Lunatics for Peace. PFF'd. From the man's mouth, countless lines were spewed out. And Okamoto Shi also seemed to understand that this thing was difficult to deal with, so he quickly backed away. Huh. A few kunai then quickly chased after him. Okamoto Shi took his cloak to avoid quickly, and a whirlwind whistled. CCC. Those kunai slammed into the ground, and the detonating talisman above was ignited. Bang! Violent flames rushed out, and then the yuhi-colored energy spheres also lost their induction, scurrying around, and returned to the device. Yuhi-colored energies that were adorned by that huge one were all inhaled, and those energies became more active. "You are Kuretsuchi's sister." Looking at the woman in front of her, wearing clothes like a cheongsam, with sexy short hair and a confident smile, the most conspicuous thing is the long white legs that come out. "Don't worry, I'm here, I won't let this guy hurt you, Tilda." Karatha, she said with a smile. On the other side, Okamoto Stone snorted, "Kuretsuchi, this is the gap in Konoha village. You want to destroy the ore resources of our Iwagakure village, you. Stop talking nonsense, here is the evidence to arrest you. I'm here to arrest you, Okamoto Ishii. Catch me, Humph, a traitor who has lived in Konoha village for a few years." Okamoto Shi's eyes immediately turned cold. Originally, he wanted to win over Kuretsuchi, but now he regards Kuretsuchi as an enemy. "I know you got some education in Konoha village, and you have 2 skills, but this is Iwagakure village, don't underestimate me." In Okamoto's words, the original intention of the threat was revealed. Damn. Kurathashi took a step back and immediately noticed that not far behind him, a yuhi-colored force was surrounding him. Snack, Ishio Okamoto clasped his hands together. This is the enchantment, Kurathashi, have you decided to die here with these people? The nourishment of the new energy. The members are part of the new energy that restores hope in this world. This lunatic, could it be you? Kurathashi was still very confident, because he knew that Okamoto-shi's fighting power was not strong. As Onoki's apprentice, he had also accepted Neji's challenge in Konoha village. She was completely confident to crush this guy. But this guy is coming prepared now. What is this guy going to do? Konohamaru suddenly panicked. He thought that no matter how serious what he was doing, he was just helping Alan to become her member and eradicating a wicked person from the world. And even if the purpose of this Okamoto stone is evil, it is just like Danzo, who is wholeheartedly for the sake of Iwagakure village. But now it seems that he is wrong. Alan, who was not far behind, was already on the ground, leaning against the sewer pipes. She said weakly, "This guy wants to be with us," absorbed by that device. PFF'd. Tiny yuhi-colored kindness, throbbing around the device. At this moment, inside the barrier, it seems like the end of the world. You, Okamoto stone, are you crazy? Heiu cursed. Okamoto-shi snorted. Don't worry, I will die here with you. Now the final link has been completed, and everything can be handed over to that lord. He promised me that after the matter is over, I will let me be reborn. It was a truly peaceful world without war, not the same as this desperate thing. Kurathashi scolded again. Damn it. Don't you care about everyone's life for the peace you recognize? This Iwagakure village, the lives of people in this homeland. You. Okamoto Stone said indifferently, beyond this barrier, I also set up a barrier. For the peace of most people, the sacrifice of a small number of people is absolutely necessary. Therefore, outside that barrier, you're the man who believed. Byakugan of Hyuga Neji couldn't see through either, because of the power of that adult, the power of Otsutsuki. Otsutsuki. Kurathashi took a step back, panicking. If that's the case, Neji may really not be able to catch up or notice. That was a power that completely surpassed the entire ninja world. Is Otsutsuki the force behind you? Do you think they will resurrect you? It's impossible to have such a convenient force in this world. You'll regret it. Okamoto Stone. Alan asked. Apparently, she didn't know what Otsutsuki meant. Okamoto Stone sneered until he looked a little crazy. Sure enough. You people don't understand anything. He grinned and scolded with round eyes. You really don't understand anything. I have seen the power of Otsutsuki with my own eyes, and I have seen their world with my own eyes. It is definitely ahead of the technology and achievements of Eternal for several years here. Peaceful world of war. Even so. Konohamaru's loud voice interrupted his lust. Konohamaru roared. No matter how perfect and perfect someone else's world is, it is still someone else's world. Your blindness will only ruin this world, and others will sacrifice us all for their own peace. Even if they are ahead of us Eternal or thousands of Eternals, then our world will eventually reach that point after counting Eternals and thousands of Eternals. Quote. So what? I was already dead at that time. If that's the case, why do you want to speed up the pace of the world for your own selfish desires, so why use the name for peace? Konohamaru spoke indifferently, and this moment seemed to be glowing. Alan and Kuratsuchi were both full of longing. Konohamaru, he's really handsome, he looks like Neji back then. Kuratsuchi murmured. However, Okamoto-shi only waved his hand, and the ground shook. Then you will go to hell with me to witness the outcome of this world. Boom. In an instant, it seemed that there were tens of thousands of shakings in an instant, and several people were shaky. Ah, stop me. Do you know that I'm the grandson of Hokage III? Sarutobi Konohamaru. Both Kurathashi and Alan stubbornly resisted being shaken, and looked at Konohamaru, who was still calm just now, with disappointment. Sure enough, it's still far from Neji. Kuretsuchi sighed. Okamoto swayed in the air, the corner of his mouth twitched, and he said with a smile, "What a cute kid. Don't you know that the guy standing beside you happens to be the granddaughter of the third generation of Tsuchikage? Let the two of you die together, and still it's a perfect match. Next, I'll detonate this device. The outer barrier will counteract the explosion inside. And Alan." Okamoto Stone looked at a weak Alan. With a sinister smile, he said word by word. "The effect of the power in your body is revealed." Chapter 743 Companion. Reliable Man. Your body. Kurakashi glanced at Eren over there, and unlike Konohamaru, she didn't care what Eren thought. The two walked over together, ignoring Okamoto Stone over there. Anyway, the switch of the device is on Okamoto Stone, and they can't change the ending that they will die here. What did he mean? Kuretsuchi looked at the weak Alan with hostility. And Konohamaru defended Alan. Alan is a good person, she is just surrounded by that power, this is the enemy's trap. Since it is the enemy's trap, then we should smash the enemy's trap. Kurakashi looked indifferent. Alan said, "Stop talking, Konohamaru." Alan's words made Konohamaru stop talking. "I do have some connection with this device." Alan sighed helplessly and explained. "The Yuhi-colored mark in my body, that is, the power that absorbed the energy that day, is the key to this device. The identity of people like us is similar to that of Jinchuriki column in the ninja world, and the body is sealed like a monster. The power of this power and the chakra of that device echo each other. Until we die. This is the mineral energy plan that has existed since Danzo and Okamoto Stone have not cooperated. I just didn't expect that this plan was finally used by the forces behind the scenes. My grandma is the key of the previous generation. Device the detonation will resonate with the key in my body to start a huge witchcraft formula, which may be similar to the sealing or summoning skills that ninjas call, and can be summoned from another world. Incredible things." Alan said this. Okamoto sneered. "Give it up, it is impossible for you to escape. Even if you know, so what? This barrier does not have my ability, and I will never be able to break it. And now I am inside the barrier, how should people from outside come in?" Then, Kurakashi walked over and grabbed Alan's neck. "What are you doing?" Konohamaru was taken aback. Alan bit Kiba and revealed it. She was so weak that she had nothing to resist. "Since you were the key, wouldn't it be enough to kill you?" Kurakashi frowned, furious. Even though she has good intentions in her heart, but now that everyone is dying, Kurakashi still cares about the survival of this world. With Neji, she can look at the development of the world from a higher level, and hope that Alan's life, which is worthless at this moment, can save the world. She will definitely choose to be such a villain. However, Okamoto Stone in the sky sneered, "Haha. It's useless, the guy with the key in his body will not die. This is also the benefit of the power of the ore, you can't kill her." Kurakashi was secretly surprised and finally let go. Alan coughed, and Konohamaru on the side was also worried. But at the same time, his heart was very troubled. At a time like this, we can't solve it with just a few of us. Yuhi-colored barrier is getting closer and closer, and they all know that when the circular barrier slowly shrinks, trapping them and compressing the device together, all of them will become the keys to unlock that ritual. Maybe a certain monster was summoned, like Otsutsuki Kagaya back then, and came to this world. If only Neji was here. Kuretsuchi clenched his fists. It's useless even if he's here, he's definitely not going to care about these things. Konohamaru bit Kiba, and now he still doesn't agree with the Neji who Naruto praised from the bottom of his heart. However, Neji's voice resounded through the sky. "If I am useless, then there will be no useful people in this ninja world." The sound was shocking and hopeful. "What? This barrier is absolutely impenetrable. Stop pretending to be a ghost." Then, a black portal appeared, and Neji and Onoki flew out of it one after another, floating in the air. The two and Okamoto Stone on the opposite side formed a tit-for-tat situation. Neji smiled and said, "My time and space technique is Keke Mora. No matter how strong your energizing power is, it belongs to the category of chakra. This kind of enchantment is not even a confined space to me. Why should I need to get rid of him? Are you all right, Kurathashi-chan?" Onoki looked at his granddaughter distress-edly. "Captain Neji." Konohamaru doesn't admit Neji, but when Neji appears, he still sees countless hopes and is shining. "You." Okamoto-shi immediately stepped back a few meters, but he was still not afraid and sneered, "It's too late now. You will all die under this barrier." He stretched out his hand and tore off his own clothes. I saw that his whole body, on the developed muscles, was printed with the same orangutan yuhi-colored pattern as the palm of Alan's palm, and it was glowing at this moment. Neji, on the other hand, was unusually calm. Under the protection of this calm power, no one will feel the panic of fear again. Neji just looked at Onoki indifferently and said, "How? This is the subordinate you believe, or the enemy? He wants to destroy the world. You have heard everything just now. Otsutsuki, I have explained to you, it is as the subject of a classified mission." Onoki shook his hands, speechless. Okamoto. With his deep eyes, he looked at Okamoto Stone, who was already crazy over there. Okamoto Ishii smiled and said, "Enough, don't preach to me anymore. I've had enough of this boring world. I'll take you to see that richer world together." "He's dead. What do you say?" Neji remained calm. And the Konohamaru below was in a state of impatience and muttered, "Is it still time to preach? Really? How can this guy be so unreliable?" "No." Kurathashi showed a relieved smile, and Alan was also faintly surprised. They looked at Neji in the air and always felt that Neji was a shining existence. "I don't know why, but I feel very relieved." Kurathashi said, "We should be lucky to be with him. This guy is the most reliable man. Just watch it." Konohamaru stopped talking, and only looked at the figure that seemed to be floating up and down in the sky with them. "I see, the decay of Iwagakure village, the decay of Otsutsuki, turned out to be just the same. Leave it to you, Neji." Onoki drifted back, and it was considered to have completed the succession of the era. Next, it is the world of young people. The only thing they can do is to hand over everything they hold in their hands. And Okamoto-shi looked at Neji, who was looking straight at him, and said with a smile, "Hee. As soon as you get close to me, I will immediately detonate this device and barrier. You have no chance." PFF'd. Okamoto-shi said that he only felt his heartbeat abruptly, and then his eyes were rounded, and he couldn't move anymore. Chapter 744 Sign. Event ends. What the hell is going on? Okamoto Stone widened his eyes and found that he couldn't move at all. Neji smiled and said, "When I came in, I used the power of time and space to cover up my chakra and covered it all around. And I launched acupuncture through chakra, and at the meeting, I discovered the inside of your body. The power of the Otsutsuki clan." "You?" Okamoto Stone was extremely surprised. Neji laughed. "In the Fourth Ninja War, it was not just Naruto and Sasuke who fought Otsutsuki Kagaya. Me too." Okamoto Stone was extremely surprised and unbelievable. Both Onoki and Kuratsuchi knew about Akatsuki, but they laughed without saying a word. Alan and Konohamaru, on the other hand, looked at each other. Especially Konohamaru, widened his eyes and asked, "Why? True or false?" Neji explained, "A lot of things are hidden, just to prevent you guys from taking advantage of those things. How the world is not decided by us. Even we who saved the world at the time did not decide the world. Towards peace is everyone's common wish, not your reason to satisfy your own selfishness. It is precisely because you know that you have the power of the Otsutsuki clan in your body, and at the same time your resistance to the spiritual demonic illusion is so strong. Then at the same time, you know how to deal with you. This art is specially prepared for you. Yes, bye-bye." Huh. I saw a flash of white light, and I couldn't see clearly at all. The next moment, Neji has appeared behind Okamoto Ishii. A palm gently patted his back, aiming at the position of his heart. As for Okamoto Shi, the corner of his mouth twitched, and he said hoarsely, hee hee. Ding. I saw his heart emitting an extremely dazzling light. Onoki hurriedly shouted. This is the timing spell activated by that guy in the heart. Once the heart is fatally attacked, it will be triggered. Neji, be careful, that light will erode people's spirits. This trick, I've seen it too. Neji's mouth twitched. I saw the intense light surrounding him, and Neji was in it. After the violent light ended, Neji landed firmly. The crowd was terrified and ran away. After Okamoto's stone fell, it was still a corpse. Onoki sighed. Did you not give yourself the last chance for the final attack? Kurafashi said. Regardless of the success or failure of the plan, this guy probably doesn't want to live anymore. When the event ended, the crowd sighed. The next thing was simple processing, and Neji also looked down at Onoki who was standing on the ground. This time, I really got you right. No, you've never done anything evil since I've known you. Onoki sighed. But the culprit is your power that seems to reach the sky. This power is too strong, and it is too strong to be placed anywhere. So even if you have never done evil, people around you will always worry about what you do. Because if you're in the wrong place, the whole world is at risk. Onoki said, and Neji smiled reassuringly. You're over the top. Onoki shook his head and said, no, this is you. But I'm really curious, how can the high-level Konoha village accommodate such a powerful and perfect existence as you? Neji explained with a smile, of course I'm hiding my exploits. Look, isn't it beneficial this time? The so-called statement is just for Naruto and Sasuke, there are always people who want to be the root in the darkness. Although Danzo's approach is wrong, people in the dark cannot be absent. The current me is the Danzo of the past, but Danzo is the root of Konoha village, and I am the root of this ninja world. Neji's mouth twitched, and everyone felt emotional. Especially Konohamaru, looking at Neji's back, as if there was a light reflected on his face. Then, Alan. Neji looked away. Alan was smiling, and then his face was almost unconscious. Alan. Sister Alan. Hello. In the hospital, Alan lay on the bed. Onoki was surrounded by the higher-ups and Neji. I'm not going to the meeting, I trust Onoki-senpai. Neji laughed. Onoki frowned slightly and said, you really only call me an old man in private, why do you call me a senior in front of everyone? Neji shrugged and explained, because in terms of foreign affairs, you are indeed a senior. Suga, is it just foreign affairs? Other high-level executives also praised Neji. However, I really have to thank Neji for this disaster in Iwagakure village. No, thanks to Konoha village. I hope our cooperation will be happy in the future, and the strength of Konoha village will be fully matched with our main village. I didn't expect that the 5 major ninja villages will unite one day, but Iwagakure village is the first village to sign the terms of the unification of the 5 countries. Aren't they going to receive some special care? Haha, just kidding. Our common goal is to unite against foreign enemies. Outdated ideas should be abandoned. Listening to their discussion, Konohamaru and Kuretsuchi stood aside. You have to do your best, grandson of the 3rd Hokage. Kurafashi glanced at the Konohamaru. Konohamaru was startled, blinked and said, this, I know, but... Kurafashi grinned brightly and said, this time, thanks to Neji and your Konoha village, I will do the work of the 4th generation Tsuchikage. Haha, it's still a year before I can take over, but just let me do it. Ready. Is that so, Tsuchikage, after the reunification of Shinobi Village, will it also have the title of Shadow? Of course. The title of Shadow is not just a leader, it seems that you don't understand anything yet. I understand. Isn't it just to protect you? Konohamaru, as Asuma's nephew, naturally knows it well. He sighed and complained again. It's just, I really don't understand. Why is Captain Neji so strong, and the whole ninja world seems to know him? But, why don't young people and children know? Kurathashi was startled and fell silent. After a long time, he explained with a smile, because, you are the jade that Neji wants to protect. Outside Iwagakure village, Temu Ridge. Help! The few strong men in savage tribal costumes were tied together. Enough, little Lee, it will kill you if you go on like this. Tenten sighed. Out tilde, little Lee clapped his hands and threw the strong men aside. And the middle-aged man, big brother, also blinked his eyes and stepped back in fear. Don't stop passers-by in the future, then. Which direction is Iwagakure village heading? Tenten asked domineeringly with his hands on his hips. The middle-aged man also nervously saw the prominent Konoha forehead guard above Tenten and little Lee's heads. Chapter 745 Go. Origin of the event. Damn Konoha ninja. The big brother who took the lead bit Kiba and muttered. What did you say? Little Lee frowned, and the man jumped up and explained in a conditioned reflex. No, no, no. Nothing. Little Lee panicked and ignored him. That's also too scared. The boy with thick eyebrows and big eyes in front of him doesn't know why, but he is so strong that he doesn't look like a person. That silently complained and sighed. These few days have been really unlucky, and now the forces of the ninja world are getting stronger and stronger. They are just like the law enforcement officers of this world, they have no room for survival at all. And these days, I have encountered ninjas one after another. It's all Konoha ninjas. Could it be that something really happened to Iwagakure village? Okamoto-shi ordered them to intercept Alan and bring Alan's body back, seemingly because there was something powerful in that guy. But now, they can't control so much anymore. I didn't expect that the ninjas of Konoha village in the distant Fire Country also set their sights on Okamoto Stone. Ninja world, this is going to change again. Soon, Tenten and little Lee let them go and set off on their way to Iwagakure village. And the few strong men came around, and after Tenten and little Lee walked away, they each asked embarrassedly, Big brother. What should we do next? What should I do? What can I do? Don't go back to Iwagakure village, let's go back to Temu village. Maybe catching 2 people in Temu village can make up for it. Don't be afraid of those old witches, they are nothing compared to ninjas. Why, do you think you can escape Okamoto-shi's means? He has a bigger backer behind him. Okay, I got it. Konoha's ninjas all went to the direction of Iwagakure village, maybe this is our chance. Hee. The messenger of Konoha is here. Konoha. Onoki was taken aback, but relayed the news to Neji first. Neji, however, seemed to have known Akatsuki for a long time, and murmured, is it finally here? It's a relief now. Are there any other plans for the future? Of course. Neji's mouth twitched, everything was expected. In the conference room, the high-level people gradually dispersed. Onoki exhaled. All in all, the treaty between Iwagakure and Konoha has been drawn up, and then there is a slow notification phase. We want to keep a low profile, so that's fine, right? After all, Iwagakure is no better than Kumogakure. In a big country, the villagers of Iwagakure village are seriously aging and can't stand the toss. Quote. Reason, Neji felt very happy when Onoki said this. He, I see. Squeak, the door of the conference room was pushed open, and the two of them looked over together. I saw 2 tall and straight figures standing at the door of the conference room. These 2 are. Onoki narrowed his eyes. Neji twitched the corner of his mouth, using the Byakugan that was completely natural and back to basics, and it was easy to see that they were 2 old buddies he knew well. You are finally here, Tenten, little Lee. Tenten put his hands on his waist and smiled bitterly. Okay, we're fast enough. Little Lee, we didn't take a lot of rest along the way. Fortunately, the pill that Neji gave us was really helpful. Little Lee also nodded and said, yes, Neji is very reliable in every aspect. Neji smiled. In fact, the so-called pills were exchanged from the system. In the more than a year that Konoha and Ino lived with peace of mind, He researched the system's exchange mall all over the place, and used those to pass the time when he was bored. He found that there are many things that can be mass-produced and can be used as very effective tools. It has also become a unique prop to use in Konoha village. For example, the spell he gave to Konoha Maru to subdue Alan's energizing rage was exchanged from the system. Therefore, although that power cannot easily surpass chakra, it can check and balance with chakra, producing unexpected effects. Then, the next step is to go to Temuling, right? Little Lee handed over the information in his hand. He asked eagerly. Tenten complained, "Oh, don't worry Lee, we haven't rested yet. And Neji must have experienced a lot of twists and turns. First of all, let the third-generation Tsuchikage understand the situation well, right?" Little Lee also realized his gaffe, scratched the back of his head with a smirk, and said, "I'm sorry everyone, it seems that I haven't performed the task for too long, I'm a little excited." Ha ha. Onoki looked at Little Lee with relief and said, "The ninjas in your Konoha village are really positive. It's completely different from our Iwagakure village, but..." He picked up the documents on the table and flipped through them casually. "I have a general understanding of the matter. Since you have already understood all the events in Temu village, it is up to you to end it. After all, the treaty has come into effect, and now Iwagakure village should serve Konoha village. Will Iwagakure village contribute? Better to leave it to Neji to decide." Quote. After Onoki finished speaking, including him, Tenten, and Little Lee all looked at Neji expectantly. Neji thought about it for a long time, and then heaved a sigh of relief. "No, leave this task to the three of us. But I have something to ask of you, old man." "What's the matter? Say whatever you want." "Konoha Maru and Alan just let them stay in Iwagakure village first, and we fully accept the Temuling incident. It's a trivial matter. It's not worth mentioning." "Then there's another big thing," Neji said. "A big deal." Neji took a deep breath and said, "Please send someone to inform the other 4 major countries of all the development of this matter, as well as the final result, as soon as possible." "Don't worry." Neji was surprised by Onoki's answer. He explained, "The 2 years of research on money have come in handy. Now that technology has developed, I and the other 4 countries can use telegrams to communicate for a short period of time. It's just that the thing is unstable. If you are in a hurry, you should try more." Quote. "Very well. Then let's go." Afterwards, Neji went to Temuling with Little Lee and Tenten, non-stop. Ahead is the origin of the incident. Little Lee stood on the trunk and looked out. Tenten exhaled and complained, "Ah, I thought I could take a rest, but there was no event to rest, and I was called to perform the task." Neji ignored the two's thoughts and said simply, "Both of you be careful, there may be unexpected enemies ahead." An unexpected enemy. Two looked at Neji, and Neji's expression was very serious. Chapter 746 Destroy. A piece of ashes. "What the hell do you mean? Neji, what are you talking about, unexpected enemy?" Tenten asked suspiciously. Neji explained, "It is logical to bring Alan and even the ninjas of Iwagakure village to this place, but I already realized it when I was in Iwagakure village. Now Temu village, it doesn't exist anymore." "What?" Little Lee was startled. He asked nervously, "So, what must have happened to Temuling?" Little Lee has unconditional and 100% trust in Neji. Neji has never said anything that has been missed, so this matter is also true. He trusts all of Neji's judgments. "Did you sense it when you were in Iwagakure village?" Tenten blinked. For some reason, being by Neji's side, even in the face of a difficult situation, she believed that their team would be able to overcome these difficulties after all. After all, Neji exists. Drip. At the bedside, the electrocardiogram began to beat slowly. More and more active, until Alan slowly woke up. After waking up, Alan was not weak, but looked very normal. But her body lay for a long time, and it was inevitable that it was difficult to control. Therefore, holding on to his hands, he sat up with difficulty. Konohamaru, who was lying on the side of the table, was dreaming, but now he realized that Alan had woken up and woke up immediately. "Alan, are you awake?" Konohamaru asked. Alan just stared at Konohamaru blankly and asked, "Where's Neji?" Konohamaru was stunned, and after thinking for a moment, explained, "Captain Neji went to Teki village to perform a mission. Old man Tsuchikage came to inform us in person, saying that it was Neji's own decision." "No, not right, not right, something happened." Alan suddenly panicked, she covered her heart, and tears were about to overflow in an instant. Konohamaru saw Alan crying, and he couldn't take it anymore. "Hey, Sister Alan, what's wrong with you? What's the matter? Don't cry. Damn, I want to go back to Temu village. It's impossible." Alan covered his heart and took a deep breath, the tears in his eyes swelled more and more. Lacrimal glands, burst banks. And all this happened in the originally so peaceful ward. Konohamaru immediately realized something and asked calmly, "Is there any power in your body that can sense something happening? You tell me the facts, so I can solve it for you." Alan took a long breath and took a long time to adjust his state. He nervously said to Konohamaru, This, my body has the deepest source of sorcerer and energy in our Temu village, that is, the source of energy. This is the world of witchcraft, and it has nothing to do with ninjutsu and chakra. Masters who are talented in witchcraft can feel the existence of our hometown and Temu village, but now." Alan's tear ducts collapsed again, and Konohamaru was a little annoyed and asked quickly, "If you don't say anything, I can't help you." After pondering for a moment, Alan said disappointedly, "No more. No more. No, nothing. The contact with Temu village is gone. This kind of connection will not be cut off. It was Temu village that had an accident, and it was too late. Temu village, it's over." There were tears in Alan's eyes, and he was babbling. In Konohamaru's eyes, all this just felt noisy. "Oh, stop talking. Anyway, I'll take you to see for yourself. Can you act now?" Just like that, Konohamaru immediately ran to the window and looked at the surrounding environment vigilantly. "No matter what it is, it seems that old man Tsuchikage is very at ease with us. He didn't send anyone to monitor us at all. I'll take you there." Wow. Like a barren mountain where thousands of mountains and birds fly away and people disappear in every direction, the trees, grass, flowers and insects on the mountain have completely lost their color. As a few people were surprised, they looked. A grand ruin. Endless, boundless. All the houses were destroyed and fireworks erupted everywhere. 2 white figures floated in the sky. "Help, forgive me. Ah. A familiar shout caught Neji's attention, only to see a figure dropped from a height of 100 meters without warning. Bang, the shouting dissipated, and there was no more life. Tenten and Little Lee froze in surprise and widened their eyes. They didn't even have time to react. Why did the good Temu village look like this in the blink of an eye? Feeling the steaming airflow left by the surrounding explosions, anyone can guess, maybe 10 minutes ago, this place was still beautiful. Byakugan. Neji could see clearly at a glance that the fallen corpse was the strong man he had met in Timuling. Actually, he died here. Then. Those 2 figures had extremely strong perception ability, and they quickly noticed the 3 figures here. And they seemed to be looking for something. Revolving heaven. Neji didn't move, just frowned tightly, and the chakra in his body burst out from all the acupuncture points. It rotates on its own, and the frequency and speed of the rotation are not at the same level as ordinary revolving heaven, far higher than the normal category of ninjutsu taijutsu. Boom. The 2 white shadows approaching were bounced out by this revolving heaven, retreated 5 or 6 meters, stayed in the air, and slowly floated down. 2 white shadows, one short and thin, one fatter than Choji, or a strong man. In short, they look very powerful. Kinshiki, Momoshiki, these 2 are the guys who hurt Sasuke. Neji understood and explained, and Tenten and Little Lee were shocked. Then. That's right, the Otsutsuki guys. They each swallowed their saliva, and asked themselves that their combat power with Sasuke is now more than a little or two, and the guy in front of them can make Sasuke carry such a serious injury. It's really scary. Where's that woman? Did you hide it? I didn't expect it to be you again. You should have been arrested at that time. Momoshiki scoffed at Neji. Maybe Neji interrupted his good mood. After all, if it were another opponent, there would be no threat to him. But only Hyuga Neji is the whole person. Everything is unknown. He is too unfathomable, even in front of the people of the Otsutsuki clan. It turns out that the guys behind Okamoto Stone are you. What do you want to do with the device? That device in Iwagakure village is just a cover, right? I have already dealt with it. Neji said this. Momoshiki became impatient and snorted coldly. I didn't ask you that. What I want to know is, where is that woman? Where is the key? Where? Momoshiki looked very anxious. Chapter 747 Clean Eyes. Peep inside. The key, Alan. Neji looked indifferent. Tenten and Little Lee each took a step back. They didn't know what Neji was investigating here. Originally, I just followed Neji to Teki village to collect the remnants of what Okamoto-shi and Danzo did secretly. These things may have such important research results and the value of past details. But now it has become a ruin, and it has no reference value. Moreover, I even met Otsutsuki's enemy. Here, it can only be handed over to Neji's command. Anyway, protect yourself, Neji said in a low voice. Little Lee and Tenten nodded secretly. As long as they didn't drag Neji back, they would be the greatest help. I know that woman is there, not enough. Neji's words suddenly attracted the attention of Momoshiki and Kinshiki. It's really you. Momoshiki clenched his fists. Although he hated Neji to death, he had already understood from the last fight that Neji was not an easy opponent to deal with. It is even very likely that he will suffer a big loss this time. In this ninja world, he really met the person he least wanted to deal with twice in a row, but he was always tracked down. It seems that the two of you also have other intentions. In this world, your advantage in the battle situation is too small. It's easy to take something away from me, so let's make a deal. Can you tell me before I hand it over to you? What is your purpose? Our purpose. Momoshiki murmured and looked at Neji with disdain. I thought to myself, this kind of enemy is really strange, to think that he would easily reveal his purpose. Kinshiki standing below waved the axe in his hand and said in a low voice, kill this guy. Momoshiki was a little impatient and whispered, don't worry, it's not realistic to kill this guy. Now that we can't find the key, it doesn't mean that our plan can't be implemented. If the ceremony is completed without this guy, the key will also end. It will be opened, and the formula will appear. In short, this guy can't be told the whole of our plan. Momoshiki thought of this, and a huge dizziness appeared in front of him. Like Rinnegan, a rippled circle appeared behind Neji, Little Lee, and Tenten. What is this? Momoshiki was taken aback, and Kinshiki below was no longer speaking. What is this? Is it this guy's move? It's different from before. Momoshiki stretched out his hand to resist, but found that there was nothing, everything seemed unreal. Just not far away, Neji chuckled and cursed. Then, let me tell you. The key you're looking for is in Iwagakure village, and I didn't bring it because I sensed your existence. I didn't expect you to be there. It's really that thing. What? What exactly do you want to do? Tell me about it. It won't affect anything. Maybe I'll be willing to cooperate with you. What a lot of nonsense. Momoshiki felt that people on this planet could be so cunning. He groaned and stretched out his hand, the huge Yuhi-colored energy ball in his palm like a Rasengan-like burst of power leaking out. PFF'd. At the moment outside, Neji's eyes are black and white. Open eyes. Momoshiki. Kinshiki panicked. Momoshiki, who was floating in the sky, was actually hit by demonic illusion. Tenten and Little Lee standing behind Neji were also very shocked. Tenten said with emotion, "Neji, as expected of you, you can make demonic illusion among the Otsutsuki clan." Little Lee also swallowed his saliva and said, "But the chakra of the guy below is also very strong, and it feels like it's overflowing. Even I can feel it. Get rid of you two for now." Huh. Kinshiki couldn't wake up Momoshiki, so he rushed over quickly. That speed is simply unparalleled. Thumbs up. Konoha whirlwind. Bang. Little Lee kicked hard and was already kicked out. However, he was punched by Kinshiki, and he was stubbornly suppressed. What? Just one hand, so powerful. Tools, heavenly lock disaster. Bah. Countless hidden weapons came, and Kinshiki quickly avoided it, letting Little Lee escape. And the scrolls summoned by Tenten have been enlarged. Not only those hidden weapons, the hidden weapons are getting faster and more numerous. Tenten said confidently, "This is the multiplication detonating talisman based on the second generation Hokage, a new technique that I have devoted myself to researching for more than a year, the technique of mutual multiplication of hidden weapons. At the same time, it is summoning more hidden weapons, which is 50 times the number of ordinary natural chain disasters. You can't completely avoid it." Neji said, but Kinshiki showed off the agility of a fat man with a fast movement. Ding, ding, ding. Every kunai was easily evaded by his fast movement, and he used the huge axe to knock back and bounce some of them. Tenten's attack in such a large number was also annihilated and turned into nothingness. "Ah, can't you?" Tenten frowned and raised his mouth. Little Lee took a deep breath and said, "Tenten, don't worry, let me come next." The 8 inner gates 6th gate view gate open. Bang. The huge airflow shot into the sky, and all around Little Lee's body turned into green air waves, sprinting towards the surroundings. As even the air pushed away. And it's not chakra. Kinshiki frowned slightly, having never seen such a move before, and was a little wary for a while. And Tenten also took a step back with interest, took out the huge scroll behind him, and planned to assist Little Lee's attack. At this time, Neji looked at it, but hesitated. "Are you sure you want to consume most of your mental power and use your clear eyes too much to spy on the enemy's heart?" Neji didn't answer. It was a choice given by the system. Since ancient times, there has been a dilemma, and the powerful ability of the clear eye can indeed pull an enemy like Momoshiki into the dark abyss. This trick was used on Urashi before, and after that it caused a lot of side effects in Neji's body, this time. If you don't know the enemy's purpose, and Neji has planned to tell the world all of this. Use Momoshiki's own chakra, but it will consume its own spiritual power. Don't care about so much. In demonic illusion, Momoshiki slowly opened his eyes, revealing the appearance of Shion Yuhi. Shion Yuhi's eyes are full of desire to possess this world. This time, it is not me who spy on your heart alone, but the 5 great countries. Om. This scene, astonishingly, appeared in the sky above the 5 major countries. Everywhere in the ninja world, the situation changes. Chapter 748 Runaway. The Scared Momoshiki. In the air, the heads and high-level officials of the 5 great powers learned the whole story from Onoki's mouth in the telegram just now. Immediately, he received the truth of the matter from Neji's technique again. In the long-lasting surprise, Neji clenched his fists and made this choice firmly. This world is not mine alone, it can only be guarded by everyone. Neji bit Kiba. Of course, he wasn't someone who would say such silly things. From the bottom of his heart, Neji wanted to use this technique to oppress the 4 kingdoms and make them realize that at this moment they had to take refuge in Konoha village. Their union is not for tit for tat, but for dealing with enemies far away in outer space. If you are entangled in the infighting between the ninja world, then the ninja world will not grow, and those desolate planets will be the final fate of this world. What's your purpose? Neji asked. Momoshiki, who was caught in a dream, twitched the corner of his mouth, and Shion Yuhi's Neji's eyes widened and said, "Of course it's the resurrection of that guy, Otsutsuki Ashiki." "One style. Who?" Neji asked knowingly. What he wanted was for the whole world to know about it. This stupid world needs the baptism of information. They are too protected in the greenhouse. Only when they realize the horror of war can they cherish the peace in front of them. Kagaya's companion. Kagaya. The guy who started the Fourth Ninja War. No, it's the guy who resurrected Uchiha Madara. In the end, that guy brought Uchiha Madara into hell. So, what does this Otsutsuki Ashiki mean? Momoshiki, Kinshiki, why am I so dizzy? Anyway, this time, is it Neji again? All over the 5 countries, there is a lot of discussion, and many people even know for the first time that this hero who once shined in the Fourth Ninja World War but chose to retreat, Hyuga Neji. I want to revive Yi Shi. Bring Yi Shi. Use another 10 tails. Complete the final plan of the Otsutsuki clan. The final plan. Wow. Like shards of glass, completely shattered. Everyone only saw the picture in the air and completely disappeared. Until the clouds above the ruins of Tiamu village completely dissipated. Little Lee and Tenten breathed a sigh of relief. Tenten blinked and murmured, "Another 10 tails. This guy. That kind of thing, I don't want to see it again." Little Lee also said angrily, "It seems that this time Neji is going to save the world again." Woo. Neji emerged from the illusion, lips already white. Although there is no substantial damage, the power is used too much, and it will take a long time to recover. Therefore, what Neji is worried about now is, if the enemy intends to pursue the victory, what can he do? However. Damn. Momoshiki came out of the illusion and regained his senses. To his rapid breathing, Kinshiki asked quickly, "What's wrong? Do you want me to kill these guys?" Momoshiki glared at Kinshiki in disgust, and said angrily, "I didn't let you talk nonsense. If you could kill this guy, you wouldn't be dragged by these 2 guys for so long. Damn, now this guy it's really bottomless, especially those eyes, it's terrifying. What kind of existence is it?" In order to scare them off, Neji pretended to be calm and said, "Haha. It's also very interesting to say. The genius of the Uchiha family named Uchiha Shisui, the demonic illusion of his eyes is a power that your Otsutsuki family can't understand at all. And I also have Jingyan is also the power in the bloodline that you have abandoned. Then, it is time to decide the outcome." Neji took a step forward, and Little Lee, who had obvious side effects from the 8 inner gates behind him, was already supported by the Tenten and couldn't move at all. Next, it seems that it will be handed over to Neji. Damn, let's go. Unexpectedly, Momoshiki also turned his head and flew into the air without turning his head. It's as if this whole piece of ruins is not what he calls ordinary, just go with the wind. And Kinshiki's speed was also very fast, which surprised both Little Lee and Tenten. Tenten, who was still in good spirits, asked, "Don't chase Neji." Neji took a deep breath and sneered when he felt that the 2 were really far away. "No, let them escape. His plan has been completely stolen by me, which they don't even know about themselves. Things. What? It's not." Tenten was taken aback. Just now they observed Momoshiki's heart in the air, and they clearly didn't reveal the whole plan. Yet Neji is so confident. That is to say, Neji still kept a hand, and only showed a part of it to the people in the whole ninja world, so this step. This is also in the plan? Tenten asked in surprise. Neji nodded and smiled. Of course, I don't want every village to go through such a tense and meaningless event in Iwagakure. Then. That's right, the next step is to take advantage of this world and win over the 5 major countries. This should have been a disaster faced by the 5 major countries, and should not be borne by Konoha village. After all, the enemy this time is not Uchiha, but it's Otsutsuki. Neji finished speaking. He noticed something. He turned his head immediately, and Tenten looked too. I saw Konohamaru and Alan standing on the path. Konohamaru looked towards Neji, and just finished reading all about Neji's deeds. Alan, on the other hand, turned his gaze and looked around at a whole piece of rotten ruins. This, Temu village, sure enough. Neji walked over and said indifferently, "Sorry, no one survived." Alan didn't answer, just stared blankly, then lowered his head. Despair, endless despair. Then came the expected weeping. No one spoke, and the pain of losing their home was understood by everyone in Konoha village. But Alan. As an orphan of the original Konoha village, this guy has lost his home for the second time. The Kingdom of Wind, standing on a high platform, about the height of the 5th floor. This place can't compare to Kumogakure village. It is different from the height of the 4th Ninja War, but this time the identity is more noble. No longer a commander of some kind of battle, but Kazekage, the 5th generation, who swore to think about Sunagakure village wholeheartedly. Gaara was wearing the robe of Kazekage, standing upright and straight. Hyuga Neji is my old friend. I understand him better than the average person. He is a person who will never harm everyone for his own selfish desires. Now, he is fighting against a powerful enemy on behalf of Konoha village. Not just the 4 great nations, but the 5 great nations. Even Konoha village can't fully trust Neji, but Neji has been fighting against the secret forces. Chapter 749 Joint. Work together. Gaara stood on the high platform and said these words to everyone. Maybe some people still keep their blood, but some people are tired of listening. Temari, Kankuro, Maki and others all sighed. Here again, this guy is still so old-fashioned. In fact, he only needs to give orders. As subordinates and villagers, they can only obey Kazecage's orders unconditionally. Kankuro complained. Yeah, he could have said it directly. He had to use this old-fashioned way of Kiba to completely change these stupid smarts. He knew it was impossible. Maki followed Kankuro to complain. However, Temari narrowed her eyes. In her mind, the time when she and Gaara invaded Konoha village a few years ago appeared. When she was in the forest, not many people knew that she had also played against Neji in that part. At that time, she completely looked down on Neji. No, not only her. Whole world, everyone looked down on Neji, they just thought he was the tail of a crane. Or a waste who originally had a strong talent, but only knew that his stupid practice completely abandoned his skills. Who knows, he is trying to lay a long line and catch a big fish. Temari said. No, you were wrong. Oh. Two looked at each other, and Temari pointed in one direction. In a corner not far away, someone excitedly clasped their hands together, praying for Gaara and Neji. Almost all children are willing to believe, and are also inspired and influenced by Gaara. Temari said, this is what Neji taught us, the will of fire. What Gaara does is not to change us old ninja adults, but to protect the new children. The children's worldview has not been formed, don't need to change, but let Gaara build them. The old days of the past are long overdue, and what Gaara is doing is actually a great thing that none of you realize. 5 days later, the village of Konoha. The 5 Shadows talks will be held in advance. Konoha high-rise meeting room. Naruto and Sasuke stood separately, but the one sitting in the center was Neji. Huh, I didn't expect you two to serve as my guards in the end. I really can't stand it. Since Naruto and Sasuke had to be there, and so did Neji, so that's it. And the others, Sunagakure village of the Land of Winds came to Gaara as the representative of the Shadow, Temari, Kankuro as the escort. Village of Kurigakure, the Land of Water, came to Terumime as the representative of the Shadow, and Ao and Chengjuro as the guards. The Land of the Land, Kuretsuchi, came as the representative of the Shadow, and Akato was alone as the escort. The Country of Thunder, Kumogakure village Darui as the representative of the Shadow, Yugito and Nozomi as the guards. I didn't expect everyone to come. Naruto took a deep breath and deeply admired Neji's influence. It would be impossible for anyone, such as Sasuke or him, to do this. After all, it is really difficult for everyone to accept this sudden cooperation at once, and make concessions like the fourth ninja world again. The nature of this time is completely different. There is no fuse like Sasuke's capture of Yahweh, and the enemy has not declared war. It is purely due to Neji's influence that everyone gathers together to consider and prepare for the future of the ninja world. No, the more important thing is the treaty that everyone signed. As Neji said, he placed a paper on the table with a pop, and everyone looked at it. 3 in total. Iwagakure village has already signed, earlier than your other 3 countries, so there is a slight advantage, but it is not obvious. Neji shrugged, but Karafushi said with a laugh, Neji, fortunately, I persuaded the old man to stay in the village and not come so far, or he wouldn't be so angry when he heard you say that. Neji laughed. Of course, I said that because he wasn't there. Hee hee. The shadows of the other 3 villages have all picked up the treaty. Submit to Konoha village. Of course I have no problem, Konoha village should be the leader of our coalition forces. Gaara nodded first. Terumi thought about it for a while, and then sighed. It's only me and Kazekage-sama who were the elders of the last 5 shadows meeting. I followed Kazekage-sama's advice. After all, the interior of Kurigakure is in a mess, so there is no need to argue about this kind of thing. Besides, we do believe in Neji's character. Sasuke and Naruto, who were standing behind Neji, looked at each other with lingering fears. This meeting, Tsunade means, let Neji represent the identity of the shadow. Although Neji was reluctant to become Hokage, he eventually became a Hokage addiction in this matter. And more importantly, because of Neji's face, everyone will trust the judgment of Konoha village. Unexpectedly, it turned out to be the case. If it were someone else, I'm afraid it would turn into an intrigue between the villages. So, the coalition has reached this. The last Darui said with a shrug. She, who was behind him, was taken aback and asked quickly, hey. I just agreed, why don't you fight for something? Yugito on the side muttered, what do you want to fight for? This. She couldn't answer, but he always felt something was wrong. Darui chuckled and asked, do you think that if the boss was there, he would not have agreed to recruit security so easily, did he? Jowan. This word is used very well. It's well said, our ninja villages are actually recruited. Ching smiled. Then he explained, first of all, Neji saved my life. At that time, tailed beast bomb of 10 tails and about to attack the headquarters, but Neji saved us by himself. Ask yourself, we command BU has no hope of surviving at all, if Neji is not there. At that time, the whole ninja world did its last effort to prepare for death. But Neji did a miracle, and this time too, we have no reason not to believe him. Quote. It seems. That's true. She sighed, and then cheered up. You absolutely, Tarui. No, Raikage the 5th generation. After all, the boss has given you the right to decide this time. What it means, I should have understood it a long time ago. Quote. Tarui smiled lightly and nodded secretly. Then, Kumogakure village also joins. Neji smiled and stood up immediately. Okay. He held the table with both hands, and there was a hint of arrogance in his eyes. Then, I announce that the joint team of the 5 great ninja villages is officially established. This alliance is a treaty that is still valid even after dealing with this problem. Also, on behalf of Naruto, I promise you that I will treat you like reborn parents. Neji, you leave me some way out. The Naruto behind him speaks of suffering. Chapter 750 Decisive Battle. No mercy this time. Hey, Naruto. Sasuke sighed, showing a long-lost smile. Have some confidence in your future self, and I'm still here. Sasuke. Naruto stared blankly at Sasuke in front of him, his heart throbbing deeply. Because of Neji's influence, Sasuke has become more and more cute and sunny. Naruto thanked Neji from the bottom of his heart, because Neji brought too much sunshine. The content of the mission is to go to the ruins of Otsutsuki. Sasuke and I have been to that place. This battle, let me see. We're all going. Neji was about to pick some reasonable lineups, but Naruto said so. Yes, we're all going. At this time, Gaara also stood up to meet, followed by Kuretsuchi and Terumi-Mei. Finally, everyone stood up. That's right, we all believe in you, Neji. Now that we have formed a coalition, we don't have to worry about so much. Originally, this world should be guarded by us, so why is it always handed over to you heroes? Unexpectedly, Tarui, who had the most negative attitude, actually inspired everyone's morale. Well, I see. Neji's mouth twitched, very pleased. Although he knew that these people would not play a big role, such an ending could be regarded as satisfying his inner vision. Neji, who once saw the darkness of the ninja world, has longed for such a day in his heart. Although he knows how difficult it is to do these things, and the hardships and pains of this journey, he finally let Neji see. Belong to the dawn of peace in this ninja world. Soon, the non-stop crowd went to the ruins of Otsutsuki together. As the key, you will stay here forever, and if you lose that home, this will be your home. Konohamaru is firm on Alland Road. Alland still thought about it and asked, how long have they been gone? Konohamaru became impatient and lamented, oops. Don't think about it, they've been gone for more than an hour, and you can't catch up. And, Brother Neji won't agree to let you go. You so much has been lost. But I am the key. Alan's eyes were full of helplessness. So what? You think Brother Neji is the kind of person who sacrifices you to save everyone? No, he will definitely defeat the enemy. Besides, even if I sacrifice you, the world will be destroyed. Konohamaru once suspected that this Alan came here to train himself how to comfort others. No, I have another way. Alan frowned. Do you mean you kill yourself by saying that? A gentle voice appeared. Konohamaru turned around, and Alan looked too. Just a very gentle woman came with a lovely smile. Her eyes are the same as Neji's. The same as Neji, Byakugan. Hi, my name is Hinata. Hinata came over. Konohamaru came back to his senses and immediately introduced. Sister Hinata is the cousin of Brother Neji. Alan nodded and said nothing. Hinata said, Brother Neji will never allow you to do this, and he will never allow you to distrust him so much. But, the enemy is Otsutsuki, and Alan was full of worry. What did he do to make you believe him like crazy? If he fails, the world will end. Alan became more and more excited. Hinata smiled faintly and said softly, because he is Hyuga Neji. For a while, the atmosphere became quiet. Then, a figure came quickly. Hinata. Everyone looked again, and the hurrying figure was a woman with yellow hair. Ino, Hinata asked, blinking. How long has my husband been gone? Husband. Alan frowned. Ino shrugged and hurriedly asked. It's Hyuga Neji. Hyuga Neji, the man who brought you back to Konoha village. Married. Alan couldn't believe that such a young man was buried in the hall of marriage. They've been gone for more than an hour. It will take about 5 hours to complete the task and come back. What's the matter? I have good news for him. No, I have to find him. Ino took a deep breath and turned around immediately. And Hinata grabbed Ino and asked, what good news, do you have to do it now? Well, it's a secret, and I wish I'd been the first to tell him the news. Looking at what the group of people said, it was completely assumed that Neji would come back safely, and Alan was particularly confused. In Iwagakure village or disguised, this guy is really so outrageous. She was skeptical. Woohoo _. The cold wind is howling, and although there is no heavy snow flying, the cold wind still makes people feel the unusual climate of this place. Is it because of some special power gathered here? Naruto asked. Sasuke explained. It's simply the chakra of the Otsutsuki family. And you should feel it, right? Under the ground of this place, there is a huge energy source Izumi. Naruto said. This is what Neji said about the starter, right? Alan, as the key to the starter, has some kind of special power in his body. Neji nodded. I really want to hear it in Ura's mouth. It's called a device. At that time, Madara was turned into Kagaya's device by Black Zetsu, which brought Kagaya back to life. Otsutsuki is relative to us. It is a higher-level existence. It can be compared to gods such as death, and it will not dissipate. As long as there are certain channels, it will reappear. Therefore, in theory, Kagaya is not a resurrection, nor is it a resurrection. Because they never die, only is free. Your words. That's a lot. Then, Momoshiki's voice interrupted their discussion. This group of people also surprised Momoshiki. He appeared in the air, and underneath was Kinshiki, who was a follower. So many people. I saw 3 people from each of the 5 major ninja villages, and only 2 people from Iwagakure village, a total of 14 people, came to the ruins of Otsutsuki to stop Momoshiki's tricks. Fun. Momoshiki subconsciously took a few steps back, his eyes flashing. This is the final battle, I'm not going to show mercy. Neji's mouth twitched, but he smiled. In this final battle, everyone is not nervous at all. Click, Naruto also patted his fist, and his whole body turned into golden color. And Sasuke's Rinnegan is also shining under the floating bangs. Tarui turned on the Raiden Thunder-style chakra mode. After Shihan seal, he closed his eyes and began to perceive. Yugito tilted his head, and the tail beast chakra overflowed. Everyone is ready to fight. And the corners of their mouths all revealed that charming smile. Momoshiki widened his eyes and asked in surprise, Why? Why are you all so happy when you all about to die? Chapter 751 Victory. Birth of a Saint. Why? Momoshiki clenched his fists tightly and couldn't help but feel a little embarrassed, because he was clearly looking down on him. It's not us who are about to die, what can we do to be happy? Kankuro said, and he threw it away. Gata. Made of Sasori's body, flying into the air. Tamari jumped up even more and said, Then everyone, just follow what Neji said and enjoy your battles. Futon, wind style, Itachi. PFF'd. The huge cyclone is like a soaring air current, rushing towards Momoshiki. Nani, can't move. Momoshiki underestimated, actually made it difficult for him to move at this moment. Tamari twitched the corner of his mouth and said, This is the ability enhanced by Neji's Sage Art Chakra. What? Sage Art? You? I saw Neji's mouth twitched and stepped back. Start hand seal. He murmured, Although my strength is damaged now, the amount of chakra will not change. My Vulcan body can quickly absorb all the Sage Art Chakra for everyone to use. Om. Doden, Earth Style, Line Congealing Technique. Wow. Kinshiki and Momoshiki, who were imprisoned by Futon, Wind Style, are now trapped in lime again. Momoshiki bit Kiba and waved his hand. Zizzy. I saw a different dimension door opened, and he rushed in quickly. But with a bang. I saw that countless sands followed him into the different space, and then, the space pedal created by Yomatsu Hirasaka was completely blocked. Yomatsu Hirasaka is a type of Kekemora. Although it is basically indecipherable in principle, any technique that is used for practical purposes must have weaknesses. I saw countless sands enter the different space with Momoshiki, and appeared together in another direction dozens of meters away. And Kinshiki, because of his size, was completely trapped by lime and sand. Gaara chuckled and said, My sand will trigger the reaction of all available sand and stones nearby when it controls him. Using my chakra, I can completely master his actions. Boom. I saw that the ground not far away had turned into a sea of sand, covering Momoshiki completely. So, super weighted boulder jutsu. Ninfa Cat's Claw. Boom. The huge blue chakra claws flew away, and the super weighted boulder jutsu of the terracotta became extremely powerful, and went towards Momoshiki fiercely. Kinshiki, who was trapped here, bit Kiba and widened his eyes. Momoshiki, my master. And Momoshiki over there was also entangled in various sage art chakras and groaned. It's time. Boom. Ah. Everyone heard Kinshiki's shrill scream. They couldn't help but back away, dumbfounded. Momoshiki twitched the corner of his mouth and said, "Don't think that you are the only one with back support, I also have." Speaking of which, Kinshiki, who was almost festering, was simply handed by Neji. Point the hole. The scene was very embarrassing. Neji looked at Kinshiki indifferently, and smiled softly. Interesting, all the dead holes have been opened, and there is no doubt about death. But, let's play some value before dying. Neji looked at Momoshiki over there. Momoshiki's frantic face seemed to write, "Come and rescue me, make me stronger." And Neji smiled proudly, "Sorry, this guy's life doesn't have to be used by you." System, devour. Please choose the devouring skill. Otsutsuki Kinshiki. Of light flashed in Neji's eyes. After more than 10 years, he finally wanted to understand. Maybe he should have understood it from the beginning. The devouring of the system is not to allow Neji to slowly devour his abilities, but to directly devour a person's existence, which can also make Neji soar to a lot of strength all at once. And it is not so simple for ordinary people to be swallowed up. But Kinshiki can, because the ability of the Otsutsuki family has transformed their self-sacrifice ability into a kind of essence. Ah! Kinshiki screamed terribly, only to see him turned into a cloud of smoke under the persecution of Sage Art Chakra. On the other side, Momoshiki, who was under control, although dodged Yugito's attack, it was difficult to continue to dodge. At this time, Naruto patted his fist, and the corner of his mouth twitched. "Let's give Neji a little recovery first, then it's our turn to play, Sasuke." Ah! Momoshiki's hairstyle seemed to explode at the moment. His eyes were full of bloodshot, and he said angrily, "You forced me. Damn it, even without Kinshiki, Ziz. I saw a golden body surrounded by his whole body, and even in the middle of his forehead, a Rinnegan's third eye started. And that Rinnegan Shion Yuhi also shed the slightest blood from the eyes. I leave it to you." Neji took a step back. Then, the remaining 13 people rushed over quickly. Futon, Wind Style, Rasenshuriken. Heavenly Hand Power. Chidori. Sandbound Coffin. Gara, move your sand away. Ching, cooperate with me to attack. Ah, look at me. Chengjuro, you are amazing. Seeing everyone in front of him, relying on Sage Art Chakra to completely suppress the already violent Kinshiki, this is the true power of ninjas. Woo. He breathed a sigh of relief and murmured, "When people in this world are willing to unite, they will be able to exert their original power. Perhaps this is what Hashirama and Madara have not been able to pursue, even if Hashirama has the will of fire left behind as only the spirit to protect the child, but it did not choose to face the plight of the Uchiha family with Madara. And realizing this, I feel. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the final trial, the road to sanctification. Congratulations to the host for completely devouring the power from the planet Otsutsuki, Kinshiki's strongest physical power. Please choose whether to steal the ability. No, I don't need this kind of stuff. I now understand what real power is. A true saint is one who knows he is victorious before the battle begins. Just like this, it is no longer a difficult battle, but a one-sided crush. Momoshiki held a powerful hand, he still couldn't fight back. People who are self-willed like them will never understand the feeling of fighting side by side with their comrades. Ding! The fusion is complete. Congratulations to the host. Successful promotion. Congratulations to the host who passed the quasi-Bible and became a saint. At this moment, the saint was born, the electric light flint. Light up the whole sky. Chapter 752 Closing. A Generation of Legends Finale. Woo, it's over. Neji breathed a sigh of relief, and had a hunch in his heart that all of this was finally coming to an end. Real peace is to try to create as much time as possible for peace, rather than once and for all. It turns out that the power of the Otsutsuki clan. Neji took a good look at the power of Kinshiki in his heart, and chuckled, if that's the case, I'll wipe you out completely. I won't give you any more opportunities to take advantage of. The future of the ninja world will belong to the ninja world itself. The world. There, Momoshiki was still being beaten. Neji smiled and said to the system, System, what are the rewards for becoming a saint? Yes, all the attributes of the host can be rapidly improved until the power reaches the load. View personal properties. Neji can't wait for some. Host, Hyuga Neji. Age, 20 years old. Combat proficiency, 0. Talent, Steal and Devour, Soul Orb, Fire Soul Orb. Identity, Lord of the New Territories, God of Destiny and Destiny. Strength, Saint Heavenly Path level. Ability. 7 chakra attributes max back to basics. Clean eyes back to basics. Tenseigen, 59.999%, use Byakugan to increase slowly in actual combat. Swordsmanship ability back to basics. Sage mode max back to basics. Demonic illusion ability max back to basics. Divine power is superb. Physique, complete sage body. Godhead consciousness fusion. Body of Vulcan max returns to basics. Weapons, Thunder God's sword with Spirit Evil God, Blood Killing God, Wine Cut Sword, 10-Fist Sword, 8-Foot Mirror, 8-Foot Chongtomo. Realm, Chakra Spirit Realm, Vulcan Possession. Special items, 1 to Kyubi, 9 Tails Chakra, 6 Paths Immortal Yin-Yang Power, Shisui I, Hashirama Cell. Heavenly Path level. Neji rubbed his chin and thought about it for a moment. It seems that there are still many unsolved mysteries in this world, but... Oh, that's all. Go to his heavenly path. What I want is the world in front of me. Om. Afterwards, Neji pulled away from the spiritual world. Crack. A thunderous thunder stunned everyone. Futon, wind style, Rasenshuriken. Boom. Momoshiki was pushed away by the huge force, and was pushed back dozens of meters on the ground. And the 13 people fell like violent strongmen, and Momoshiki over there was beaten to no human form. What was that just now? Lightning, Sasuke wondered. Naruto frowned slightly and said, this is Neji's chakra, but it doesn't feel very good. What's wrong? Why is there such a huge amount of chakra? The power is too great to control. Neji narrowed his eyes and bit Kiba. Damaged by more than half for demonic illusion, which is a clear eye. Even the strong and the genius will eventually face more difficult problems. If he loses control, Neji himself will be fine, but everyone here, including Momoshiki and the people of these 5 major ninja villages, may receive immense trauma. At this time, Neji only felt that a figure appeared in his mind. Neji, why did you leave me again? Neji was startled. It was Ino. Om. The art of turning your heart, success. Ino wiped his sweat and thought he was here to use this move on the enemy, but he didn't expect it to be used on Neji. What the hell is going on? Ino took a few steps forward. Ino, why are you here? Neji turned around, his hair fluttering as if it were flying. Looking at such a handsome Neji, Ino couldn't help turning Yuhi's face and asked, Neji, what's the matter with you? Neji only asked gently, why come to such a dangerous place? I have good news for you. I see, I'll talk about it later. Neji squeezed Ino's hand and nodded secretly. Then turned his head. 13 people made way one after another. They all know that at this moment, a legend is being born. No, it should be said that from a very early time, Neji has been in their hearts and has become a generation of legends. Momoshiki over there, kicked his legs and sat up, gasping for breath. Why the hell? Why even sage art chakras keep coming? You don't have that kind of strength. Facing the crazy Momoshiki, Neji twitched the corner of his mouth and chuckled, why don't you think I didn't? You said you saw it, maybe. It's just what the other party wants you to see. Fell, The figure was already behind Momoshiki. You can't kill me. Momoshiki could only use the last threat. And Neji's eyes seemed to contain the entire universe. This is Tensegan. Why do you have? By the time Momoshiki realized it, it was over, and in his mind, everything had fallen apart. And Neji only twitched the corner of his mouth and said, "It's true that I can't kill you, but I can still use Kinshiki's power to entangle with you and make you unable to turn over forever." Neji stretched out his hand, and all Kinshiki's power rushed out of Neji's palm. Whoa whoa whoa, Momoshiki heard at right angles. Neji's mouth twitched, and with a burst of force, Momoshiki was completely surrounded by green flames. Neji said, "This is the flame from hell that the Vulcan used my body as a medium. Hundreds of Eternals were before the people of your Otsutsuki clan, leaving a scourge that was hard to eradicate in the world of the gods. That is a kind of stop, and now, it's this curse that's going to wipe you out." Momoshiki wanted to say something, but found that his throat had been destroyed, and his body began to disintegrate from the inside. "Your legend is coming to an end, and my legend is beginning." Om. From the inside, it falls apart until it dissipates. Completely gone. Standing at a distance and watching this scene appear, Otsutsuki Kinshiki and Otsutsuki Momoshiki let Neji use an inexplicable power to seal them together forever and never appear again. Whoosh. The sound of the wind stopped slowly, and the surrounding climate became much normal in an instant. Ding. The host unloads his power, and the aura of the saint dissipates. Neji breathed a sigh of relief and said lightly, "The so-called saint or not is just a title. How strong or not is determined by the amount of chakra and the moves that will be used. Sorry, then, my era will pass temporarily. Now, I'm going to live the life I want." Neji took a deep breath, turned, and never looked back. Two faint blue souls sank into the ground. Boom. Ground trembled, and everyone knew that Neji completely blocked the underground starter device, and he once again saved the world with confidence. At dusk, when everyone was talking and laughing, the ninja world had never been so peaceful and stable. The sun sets, Neji walks towards Ino. "Now that I've settled everything, what's the good news?" Neji asked. Ino's face gave a slight yuhi, and he smiled softly at Neji. Neji was startled, puzzled. I saw Ino stretch out his hand and rub his stomach. Neji knew it very well. Because Byakugan could see clearly, Ino's body was alive. "That is, Jade.